Gaming Noodle here with a review of Darksiders 2.
A rider? In the kingdom of the dead? No, no, this will never do.
Darksiders 2 is an action-adventure game with a little bit of RPG in it to boot, from Vigil Studios. Darksiders 2 is about the four horsemen of the apocalypse, and this one focuses on the horseman Death, who is out to clear his brother's name, who was wrongly accused. Which actually happens in the first game.
Corruption has chosen a champion, a voice to sound its clarion call.
Then I will see this finished, here and now.
If you've never played Darksiders 1, don't worry, because this is not a sequel. The storyline in this game takes place at the same time as Darksiders 1, so you can jump into any which game you choose to. Now when you hear about Darksiders, you may hear people telling you about how it's like God of War or Zelda or Prince of Persia, and they would be right. It basically takes elements from each of those games and kind of stitches it together to make Darksiders. And this works surprisingly well. Now the graphics for this game, it's not amazing, but in a game like Darksiders, the art direction is so focused and strong that it makes it so enjoyable to watch, to manipulate. It's fantastic. The storyline is a lot more at the forefront in this game, with a lot of cutscenes and lots of story recaps, which I really appreciate. The music is something I didn't really expect anything from. I just kind of expected it to be there, kind of like in Darksiders 1. But they really went all out, I think, with the soundtrack to this game, because it is absolutely fantastic. It really helps set the mood when you're in a beautiful, huge landscape and you're fighting these massive big monsters and bosses, and then you have this really epic kind of music that starts to play. It really, I don't know how to explain it. You get tingles. I actually got tingles on the back of my neck. The world of Darksiders 2 is huge, about 4 times as big as the first game. I completed story mode the first time around in about 26 hours, and that's when I skipped a lot of the optional content, which can be things like the collectibles and actual full-blown dungeons that are actually off the beaten path that you can discover. And once you've completed the story mode, you get to do it again in New Game Plus, which basically makes the enemies stronger and you get to acquire even stronger loot and better loot, which is always fun. There is also one more mode called Nightmare Mode, where basically if you die even once, it's game over and you don't get to continue. So that's a nice little kind of challenge for anyone that feels up to it. And of course there is the Crucible, which is basically an arena mode in the game, where you fight waves and waves of monsters for epic loot. The game has added some RPG elements where when you level up, the max level being 30 by the way, you get some points to spend, and you can put this in one of 2 trees. You could put this in the Harbinger tree or the Necromancer tree. Basically, one is kind of like more focused on melee, and the other is more on spells and the like. Now, this game is not without its faults. I played the PC version, and it is plagued with issues. For one, the V-Sync does not work, so you get major screen tearing unless you use third-party programs to help fix that, but that's something that should be patched by Vigil. Also, there are quite a few bugs in the game still. I haven't really come across much myself, but I have been reading that others have come across bugs such as falling through the world or floating in midair and not being able to do anything. So just be mindful of that. I haven't come across any game-breaking bugs myself, but that's just me. Also, I'm not really sure what's up with the low resolution. I know this is a port from console, but it's disgusting to look at. If you go to the inventory screen, Death's avatar, it's really pixelated. I really hope they fix that.
I ensure that he need only speak with those who are worthy.
Then you must rarely see him, Chancellor. Oh, no.
All in all, Darksiders 2 is an extremely fun game. Death is a very likable horseman, which is an odd thing to say, but I'm going to give credit to his voice actor, which was Michael Wincott. You may remember him from The Crow or Robin Hood, one of those kind of films. I actually liked him in Robin Hood. Darksiders 2, absolutely phenomenal, fun game. Definitely one of the top games of this year. I highly recommend it. I give Darksiders 2 a 9 out of 10.
Thanks for the warning.